Hello everyone, welcome to IEMlabs. Today we would be looking into how to use the print and the input functions in different ways and how to print various data types using a single print command. So if you have watched our previous video, you would be aware of the fact that the syntax for the print function is something like this, and the syntax for the input function is something like this. Okay, so now coming to the fact that let's say we want an input from the user, which is the user's name. And we want to say hi to the user. Print hi. Let's run this little code of ours. Let's say we enter the name Monica. It says hi Monica. Now, say suppose I also want to input the user's age. And now with this message, I want to tell the user their age. So let's go for your age is age. Now if we run the code, we'll again go with Monica. Let Monica be 25. Like, hi Monica, your age is 25. Now, this is the small error which was supposed to happen here but which didn't, and which we can find in the following method. Now the thing is that age is supposed to be an integer number, which you can see is here is actually an integer number. However, say I want to input Monica's marks for 3 subjects. So I go for input, enter marks, one, marks 2, and marks 3. So let's say now I want to print the sum of all these 3 marks. Let's take another variable sum. What it does is it adds the 3 marks. And with this line, we also want to print her marks. Your total score is sum. Now let's try to run this code. Enter name, we'll again go with Monica and let her be 25. Marks 1. Let's say Monica got 80 in the first subject, 85 in the second subject, and 90 in the third subject. Now the code executed successfully. However, you would find that the sum of 80, 85 and 90 can definitely not be this number. What happened is it concatenated 80, 85 and 90, considering them all of them to be strings. Now this is something which needs to be avoided, and this is an inherent problem with the input function. Whenever we use the input function, the input provided by the user is by default referred as string. So now what we need to do is explicitly mention that the information that would be provided by the user is not string but an integer. Now if we run the same code again, we'll find a difference. Monica, age 25, same marks 80, 85 and 90. Now we are facing a small problem which says that can only concatenate str, not int to str. What basically means is there's a single print command is right now unable to print the all of these are string, unable to print the entire data, since all of these are string types and this last sum is actually of type integer. Now this problem can be resolved in two ways. Either we can explicitly typecast sum as a string. However, when we are doing this, we need to ensure the fact that, excuse me, however, when we are doing this, we should know the fact that sum is being typecasted as string only in this case. If we were to check the type of sum later on, it is actually still integer. But for this explicit line number 10, which we have mentioned here, it will be treated like a sum. It will be treated like a string. Now let's run the code. Enter name, let Monica, 25, 80, 85, 90. The total score is 255 and class int. So now we know that sum is still remaining an integer. However, for this line, it is being typecasted to a string. Now, this problem could also have been resolved in another way. The same line of code, let's copy it from here till here. And let's comment out these two lines. Now what we'll do is write the same line again, but this time we'll put a comma and write sum. And we run it. Monica, age is 25, marks is 80, 85 and 90, and we get the same output. However, we can also use two print commands and produce the same output, and for that we'll use another method, which is basically the same. We'll do the same thing but in a slightly different fashion. Now, instead of writing the same thing in the print statement, I want to show this message, but I don't want to change my line. So I'll use this command here, end equal to single inverted quotes and close the brackets. What this does is that it does not allow the print function to go to the new line whenever the next function is being run. So now if I print sum, it may look like these two should be in separate lines, but when we are running the code, we will realize that it's actually not the case. It's still showing it in the same way. Thanks for watching, guys. That's it for today. Kindly like, share and subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for the next videos.